This video is for all the veterans who are currently in Veterans Readiness and Employment, and those of you who have been experiencing any trouble with your VRC. Maybe you've been having trouble contacting them. Maybe they're just all around a pile of shit. Well, here's my advice on what you should do.
Oh, what a stroke of luck.
This is one of the most common questions that I get, one of the most common complaints that I see about VR&E. And with this video, I hope that I can help some people and relieve some of the problems that they're having with VR&E. It's a shame that some VRCs have to be shitty because, honestly, who your VRC is really determines how the program is going to be for you. The VRC that you get will determine whether you have a good experience or a bad experience in VR&E. That's just the way that it goes. I personally, the VRC that I got was a pretty good VRC. I didn't really have much issues, so with this particular thing, I don't have a lot of personal experience, but this is what I found out after a little bit of research that I've done. Normally, I would say go check in the M28 Charlie, which is the regulation that comes out of the 38 CFR for Veterans Readiness and Employment. But unfortunately, there's actually really not a lot of information on there when it comes to what if my VRC's a shitbag, or what if I can't get a hold of my VRC, or what do I do if I want a new VRC? So unfortunately, in this situation, that's just not a lot of help. The first thing I would recommend that you do is stop trying to call your VRC. You need to have a paper trail, a history of conversations that you've been having with your VRC. You need to start emailing and emailing only with your VRC. In everything that you tell them, you need to lay out perfectly. You need to lay out what it is you're asking for in a timeline that you need it. And if it's been a while that you have been asking for these things, then you need to basically write a synopsis in an email to your VRC saying something like, I asked you about X and X thing on X and X day. You told me that it would be X and X days until you got back to me about that. I still haven't heard from you. And then further go on into that. So basically make a timeline that basically just goes over the actions you've already taken, the requests that you have already made, and the actions that your VRC has or has not taken. Send all of that in an email. Maybe it's just that you want them to respond quicker or at all. After you sent that email, wait about a week. Now, if it's already been like a good amount of time, give them about 48 hours. And if that does not work, what you're gonna do is something that we all learned how to do, and that is use your chain of command. So the next thing you'll do is go to the Google machine and type regional VBA. You'll click on the first link, scroll down to the picture of the United States. It's broken down into regions. You just click on your state and whatever region you belong to. We'll say Houston. And then click on leadership team over here in the corner. And this is going to bring you to your chain of command. So some of you in some of your regions, you may not have assistant directors on there if your region is too small. Houston, obviously a little bit bigger, so they do. And where you'll start here is at your VREO, your Veteran Readiness and Employment Officer. So that's who you're going to go to first. If your VRC will not contact you, or they're just a flaming pile of dog shit, then the first thing you'll want to do is contact your VREO. Now, you'll notice that they don't give their contact information. Of course, why would people that are supposed to help us want to put their contact information somewhere where we can get a hold of it? So you're going to have to do a little bit of digging for this. One, you can probably try LinkedIn. I think that's probably a good bet for you to be able to find a lot of people here that are in somewhat higher positions. They most likely have a LinkedIn, and then you can look for further contact information from there. Another thing you can do, and most of us know this, is all of their email addresses are the same, just like our military email addresses. You would just have to do first name dot last name at va.gov, and you probably have a decent chance of that being the right email address that's going to get through to the person that you need. So in this case, after our VRC hasn't responded, we'd write up a similar email to our VREO. We would condense it a little bit, but also put the attachment from the first email that we sent to our VRC. So if they do want to look at the totality of the information that's there, they are able to, but you'll definitely want to condense the information a little bit more. Then if your VREO does not get back to you, then you'll want to go up to your assistant director and you'll do essentially the same thing. You will include the emails that you sent to the VRC as well to the VREO, and you will write a condensed email to the assistant director. And it's always helpful to be like, I'm sorry to be the one to bring this to your attention, or I hate to have to put this on your desk. Definitely try to be kind and show a little bit of humility. And if that doesn't work, I would go up to the director of your region, and again, same thing as before, I would include the email that I sent to the assistant director, the email that I sent to the VREO, and the email that I sent to the VRC. So if an email to your VREO didn't work, then I would send an email to your assistant director if there is one. And if that didn't work, I would send an email to the director of your region, all of which should include the email to the person prior in the chain, and it should be a condensed version the higher up the chain that you go, but always include those emails from the prior conversations. Now, at this point, I really hope that someone has responded and that you have found a solution to your problem. But if that is still not the case, then the next thing that you can do is go to the director of your region. So the map that we just clicked on by finding our leadership team, we'll go back to that, look at what region we are in, and then just type in the Google machine, for example, Southeast Regional Director VA, and that will get you some results and point you in the right direction of who you need to contact. But I highly doubt, at least I hope, that it doesn't get that far, and I hope that it is resolved simply just by emailing your VREO. I hope that this helps a lot of you out that are struggling with your VRC, and I hope things get better for you. Best of luck.